Good morning, everybody. Happy New Year. It's Jeff. Hope you had a safe and happy holiday season. Today, I want to give a shout out to Chris and Sergio, who have given me the platform to share some helpful tips with a lot of you and to air some grievances. And I never say this, but I guess I should. Don't forget to subscribe to the Rideshare Guy channel and hit the bell so you know when there's new content up there for you. Anyway, today I'd like to share a little story with you. It's about an issue with Lyft that just happened, and I'm soliciting some opinions as to why people might think this happened. And hopefully Sergio and Chris could also share some insight. So first, a little background. Here's my Lyft stats, 12,000 plus rides, 5-star rating, over 8 years. That's the car I drive. I am an elite driver. You can see my rating, acceptance rate, cancellation rate. And now for the interesting thing that happened today. It's a new year, but it's the same old company. As you know, I do prefer Lyft over Uber for a lot of reasons, but this was very interesting today. And I'm curious to hear in the comments what you guys think. So I am recording this on January 5th, and as you can see, the issue in question happened today, early this morning. So currently, I've been up in the Daytona market, which is a small market in Florida. For the last 2 months, I'm spending about 2/3 of my time at my home in Hollywood, Florida, which is in southern Florida, and about 1/3 of my time in Daytona. So I've been learning this market for the past 2 months, applying a business model up here that works in a market that doesn't offer Lyft Black or Uber Premier. Still plenty of profits to be made, but this is an interesting one. So this morning, I booked a reservation last night, and the ride was for a pickup at 2:30 a.m. So the upfront pay was $96.73. I guess $98.08 could be for wait time and tolls, but we'll see later. It was a decent ride to the airport, and you can see I picked up the passenger, was 2 miles away, did the ride. Now let's look at the details. Passenger paid about $130, curiously low external fees and estimated Lyft fee, tolls. So my base earnings were $67, and as usual, I was able to pick up a turbo. This is why I took the ride, because I knew I would be able to get it to well over $1 a mile. So I live in Daytona is a market that borders a different market, the Orlando market, which is very busy. So frequently I go back and forth between markets. So I dropped this person off, and I also booked another ride back in Daytona for a 5:15 a.m. pickup. So you can see the pay there. That was a 105-mile ride, but this is in a different market. So I spaced it out so I had enough time to drive back from Orlando Airport to pick this person up and then endeavor on this longer ride. And again, you'll see the upfront pay is certainly not what they were paying me. The base earnings were only $67. But here's where it gets interesting. So as I'm driving back, there's a 60% turbo available in the Orlando market, which again, I knew I'd pick up a turbo, didn't know it would be that high. So that was 60%, which again made this ride very well worth it. It wouldn't have been worth it if I didn't catch a turbo, but being a good businessman always involves some risk. Curious though, look at the external fees on this ride. Really? 50% of the passenger payment goes to external fees? But because I picked up that turbo, Lyft claims they lost $38 on this ride, which always makes me feel good. Here's where it gets interesting. So this ride ended at 6:54 a.m. Look at the email I got from Lyft at 6:56 a.m. We've noticed inconsistencies with your GPS location. Please note that continued access to location-based bonuses requires valid GPS information while using the Lyft platform. Sort of intimidating and accusatory, isn't it? I have my own feelings as to why they do this. I guess they just don't like when drivers are smarter than their algorithms and they end up paying a fair wage on these long distance rides. And my guess would be is that I picked up that 60% turbo in Orlando and I didn't catch a ride going back to the next reservation because I had my area filter on for the ride and there was nothing going on that early in the morning. So, they're probably suspicious because they wound up paying me 60% more for the ride because, again, I'm smarter than they are. I know where the area is going to pop. Didn't do anything wrong. But what's the purpose of this email? Is it to intimidate you? Is it to make you feel scared that they're going to deactivate you? They know where my GPS is. My phone is always on. They're always tracking me. They know the IP address. They know where I was. I just dropped one of their passengers off at Orlando Airport, and now I was headed back home. Am I supposed to turn my app off because there's a 60% turbo in Orlando? Again, they don't like when you make profit. They like when you bring in revenue for them, but they don't like when you make profit. Anyway, that's about it for this. Just curious to your feedback, especially for, my two kings of rideshare, Sergio and Chris, especially you, Sergio. Maybe you could forward this to, your executive friends at Lyft, the ones who speak English as a first language and are based in the United States. I'm curious as to why an elite driver with the record that I have would sort of be threatened as if I'm doing something wrong. Have a wonderful day, enjoy your new year, and keep making those profits.